Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Ophiuchus, this is in honor of the fact that we have our autumnal equinox today, the 23rd of September. And this is the time where, if you live in the northern hemisphere, the sun is moving across that celestial equator and it's moving south. So we'll have a time frame where we've got 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And then as the days progress, we're going to start to see that we have longer nights and shorter days. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be the reverse. So that's kind of one half of the inspiration for this storytelling, is a time frame of balance, and then a time frame that things are going to shift in a definite direction. And then the other inspiration for this storytelling that we're about to begin with is, you notice I'm in front of the Mayan calendar. The equinoxes are particularly important all around the world in different cultures, but the one that I wanted to focus on was just in Mexico at Chichen Itza. There is a temple there that's dedicated to the serpent. The deity of the feathered serpent, whose name is Quetzalcoatl, if we're speaking of it in Aztec terms, and Kukulkan, if we're speaking of it in Mayan terms. So at the equinox, right there at that temple, light slithers down the 91 steps, and much like a serpent would going down the steps. And at the base of it, there's a carved head of the serpent. So it's kind of a really amazing feat of architecture, to have created a temple like this. And of course, very ancient also. So it tells us just how important this really is. So I'm kind of swept up with that. I've been to Chichen Itza and it was magnificent, although I wasn't fortunate enough to be there during an eclipse. But I traveled there specifically to see this. So Quetzalcoatl is, the name breaks down to kind of representing the highest element, which is the beautiful plumes of a bird being combined with the lowest element, which is a water serpent. And so putting those two together, we could metaphorically say it's the energy of the cosmos connecting to the energy of the earth. So let's keep all that in mind, and kind of celebrate the equinox in a more special way. I always consider myself a citizen of the planet. So I love all the international stories and folklore and all kinds of inspiration that I gain from just the world. So I'm not any kind of a scholar. There's a lot more to all of that, but I'm not going to go into it because it's kind of not exactly, we don't have time for all of that, but well worth learning more about Quetzalcoatl. So here we go. For the energy, though, for our Ophiuchus during this equinox, the energy of where's the balance and then which direction are they going after that? Well, we start out with a card of balance, Two of Pentacles. I would say there have been a couple of zodiacs that got a card that was very much about balance on this day, which is all about balance, which I thought was like, wow, somebody's really digging the equinox the way I am, because it's very much about coming to a level of understanding that maybe everything in Ophiuchus's life is a balancing act, and it is in everyone's life, right? That's not restricted to a zodiac. That everything is about give and take. But what's interesting for this particular, hey Karen, good to see you, honey. What's interesting for this Ophiuchus is that they seem to be in this place of balancing possibly their internal spiritual journey. This could be someone who is just becoming aware, and maybe they didn't even know why they were so focused on balance, or finding this place of acknowledging their inner soul is maybe at peace. They've taken steps to really feel whole, and they might just be becoming aware of it today. This could be someone who is recognizing what a spiritual person they actually are. Maybe they never gave themselves credit for this. They never spoke about it. We got the Eight of Wands in the reverse. I feel like this is a deeply spiritual person, maybe a deeply someone who never stopped to think about just how much they are influenced by their intuition, and how that intuition is part of their, I like to call it the inner compass, right? The inner North Star, the thing that guides us Ophiuchus forward. They're profoundly aware of it today in a way that they hadn't been. They never spoke about this. They maybe never would have said, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm a person on a spiritual quest in a physical body. And now they're kind of like, that's so crazy. I think 50% of my entire life is just me deciding on things that I don't have any conscious knowledge of, but my soul tells me what to do. My soul guides me. Like if this Ophiuchus could sit down and reflect on their life, they might discover that they have taken steps that led them to very important moments in their life as if divinely guided, yet they never recognized, I don't know how I knew to do that. I just did. I don't know how I knew. We hear people say this all the time, and I've had countless things in my own life where I would say, I knew. And there are big things in my life that I can say, I knew. And in fact, the most important things in my life were not things that I understood from a logical place, but rather I just knew. And there are moments where you know what you know, and there isn't an explanation beyond that. I think that our Ophiuchus is realizing that they have operated from that gut instinct more than they've ever given themselves credit for. And I don't know that they're speaking about it out loud even now. I just think that they're aware of it, and that's enough. I don't like to speak about this stuff either because it sounds so out there and so woo woo. And I'm actually somebody who prefers facts. I'm not an Ophiuchus, by the way, but I can understand this character. I try to always like put myself in the character's role just a little bit to help tell the story, to flesh it out, to imagine what is this character trying to display. Do I have any point of reference that will help me find the right vocabulary to describe this character's journey? And I could say that I find that a relatable topic without going any further down that road, because it's kind of like, remember, the hermit's journey is a personal journey. It's Virgo energy there, but this, I feel like this is a fairly this Ophiuchus is fairly private about just how profound some of their instinctual choices have been in life. We have a 3 of Cups. As our character moves forward, what I think they're saying is, I'm also very much aware that there is something that I have been preparing for or gravitating toward for quite some time. Not in a conscious way. I didn't say I'm going to move this direction, put myself into this position because I want to go meet this particular person, but they're realizing somehow their feet have led them to this moment anyway. I think Ophiuchus has somebody very special that they either are about to meet or on the cusp of connecting with. It's maybe someone that is already on the periphery of their life, or they've known this person, but they're right now acknowledging in their own mind and maybe their own heart that this is someone I've been moving toward, even unbeknownst to myself, for quite some time. Or maybe it's also the reverse. Maybe this person has been gravitating toward me as well, as surely as that the sun is, making its motion across the sky and crossing that celestial equator. It's the same thing. Some things they're just going to take place. It's part of the orbit. It's part of what's supposed to happen. It's part of the placement that we're in the galaxy. And I feel like, I know this is a very like ethereal storytelling, but I'm enjoying this one. This is probably the most like, if we want to call it woo-woo or new agey story that I've had out of all of the zodiac. Some have been very like rudimentary and very specific. Others have been extremely like even vague but enjoyable. And this one is very much mystical. We got a Queen of Swords, which brings that tangible, logical side back into this story that otherwise has been more about Ophiuchus recognizing how profoundly intuitive they are and how much their intuition has guided every action in their life, what a spiritual being they truly are, and the fact that they have now placed themselves in a position to connect with someone very important. And this person could be a very logical person, or this is the time where the Ophiuchus is now using their sharp, cold, logical mind to say, now that I'm here, now that my intuition has brought me to this moment, now I must rely on fact finding and my analytical mind to progress. So tell me about that, because that's kind of an interesting message, because this feels like an emotional draw. 3 of Wands. This really feels like Ophiuchus has been energetically drawn towards someone and vice versa, but they know not to lose themselves in the fantasy of, wow, this must be like meant for me. This is not an Ophiuchus who, as let me put it this way, as spiritual as they are, as like emotionally adept as they are, and as intuitive as they are, They don't lose themselves in a flight of fancy. They allow their inner star to guide them to an opportunity. But then when it comes time to really invest, that's when they're good at evaluating things. They're good at saying, I wonder if this person could be my everything. I wonder if this relationship could go the distance. I want to not lose myself in the fantasy of, wow, because I've been led here, now it must mean that they're right for me in every way. They'll never hurt me. They're super healthy. It's tempting to give all these magical attributes to a situation that we feel fairly divinely guided toward. Yet this Ophiuchus pulls the brakes. And for some reason, I'm picturing somebody on like a trolley car, like a San Francisco trolley car. Like, the brakes are like the big levers, but then, you pull on the little ding bell up above to let somebody know where you want the trolley to stop. For some reason, I feel like mentally they're like, ding, this is where I need to stop. And then I'm seeing somebody pull on the levers to stop the trolley car from going down the road of like mystical belief without rational evaluation. So this character is not going to fall head over heels in love with someone. Not that they don't feel like they're supposed to have met this person, but they're going to keep up a boundary, not lose themselves to this, and they're going to let time pass. They're going to hope for the best, but they're also going to allow, like, now I've been brought here, now let me see what comes of this. Could this person be my everything? Only time will tell. I'm supposed to use a combination of my instinct and my beautiful brain, because human beings are not just instinctual creatures. They are also, we've got all this big brain mass up here for a reason. The critical thinking. We're supposed to use everything, is, I think, the message out of this. And this Ophiuchus is very comfortable walking that line. They are neither overly mystical nor are they overly factual. They combine the best of both worlds to make their decisions, particularly in matters of emotions, which to me is like, that's amazing. King of Cups, 10 of Cups. Holy moly. Good day to be an Ophiuchus, huh? This Ophiuchus is, let's put it this way. We have a beautiful matched pair. We have a king and a queen. We have somebody that is perhaps head over heels in love or will be with Ophiuchus. We have the ultimate kind of happiness, the genuine 10 of Cups. We have the leap of faith that allows someone to gravitate toward what they feel compelled to seek, but then they still are logical enough to get to know this person before giving them their whole heart and letting them fully into their world. They allow a time period of getting to know one another, making sure that this feels authentic, that this feels right, that they're dealing with somebody who's healthy, who is able to love them right. This Ophiuchus is, I think that they found the secret to really developing a 10 of Cups relationship. And that is neither to be disillusioned nor living in fantasy land, but somewhere rooted in realistic, rational thought, and also reminding oneself that love is a bit of a mystery. How we feel such a bond to somebody, what is that? How do we quantify that? What's the, is there like some brain measurement where if you feel, this amount of percentage of, chemical influx, then that's love. But if it's a little bit less than, 56.2% of a chemical influx, then it isn't love. We don't have it down to the chemistry. It's instead something that is magical and intangible, but it also has to be rooted in something factual and true and a little bit quantifiable, at least as far as, is this person healthy and kind? Are they what I'm looking for? Can I trust them? Have we developed something that is not just emotional, but is also rational, sane, and healthy? And I think that is what Ophiuchus has figured out how to do that. That's what they have at the end of this shift in their energy. They have recognized that they use their rational and their intuitive sides of themselves, and they are creating or finding a 10 of Cups thanks to all of that. That's really nice. That's really sweet. Probably the most relaxed approach to romance I've ever seen, and yielding the best results. that was really a lovely story to be privileged enough to tell. So that was really fun. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm delighted. Andrea, I'm glad you like this series. This has been a fun one. I bought this backdrop like, oh gosh, almost a year ago, and I have been waiting to use it. I get ideas in my head and I'm like, I can't wait for the right time to come up, because that's that I've got this inspiration inside of me that I want to explore. So I'm so honored that you're enjoying it too. I think that the equinox is such a special time, and everything that it represents, and how everyone around the world celebrates it. So it feels like, we're all kind of going through it together, which I really like that also. So I'm glad that you like it. That's awesome. Hi, Liz. How are you, honey? Wonderful to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Janine in Canada, very much welcome to be here. Thank you for popping by. Love, peace. Hi, how are you? Oh, Liz, you're also in Canada. Nice. All right, you guys, I've been to Canada just once. It was gorgeous. I went up to Arrow Lake, and it was magnificent. And the car ferry was one of the most delightful memories that I have. It was such a I've never been on a just like big flat platform that was moving across this. I think it's the Arrow Lake is not really a lake. I think it's an expanded portion of the Willamette River, and the car ferry is just this big flat. It's not like a ship, and so you feel like you're barely on the water and you're just moving along in it. The water just looks like glass. It was magnificent. I have never forgotten that, and it was so. I don't know. Canada was really magnificent to me. I have a lot of emotional memories about Canada. So, anyway, very nice to see you guys, and thank you for conjuring up such nice memories that I have of your beautiful country. All right, you guys, take care. I'll see you all in the next round. Bye for now.